The Calgary real estate market is absolutely nuts, and it's even crazier than 2014 and is very similar to 2008. There's a few reasons behind this madness, and I'm going to explain why I think it's happening and give you my advice if you're a buyer, seller, or investor based on what our team is seeing on the streets. I'm going to share what you guys need to know now, and at the end of the video, I'm going to share some strategies on how to come out on top in this challenging market. But first, let's answer the question, is the Calgary real estate market in a bubble? Our take on it is no. But why? Well, let's start off with some context with income and housing prices. Based on Statistics Canada, Albertans have been the highest earners out of all provinces. If you take a look at this graph from 2014 to 2018, you can see that we had the highest median income. The second highest are highlighted here. This graph was published on November 3rd, 2021 from the Canadian Real Estate Magazine looking at average prices. You can see that even though we have one of the highest incomes, we are not the most expensive. In fact, I would say it's pretty affordable when comparing to other major cities. Now, I know I'm not comparing apples to apples because the income graph was from 2018, but this gives you an idea why Calgary is so desirable. Also, in January this year, we are historically listing a high number of homes on the market. In January, we listed about 10% more homes than last January. In our opinion, pricing is just now catching up to where it should be. And the biggest difference between the boom now and the booms in 2008 and 2014 is that we have a huge influx of inter-province buying. People have called us literally thinking that we were a super small city and everyone walked around with a cowboy hat. But now that they are researching Calgary real estate, they know it's just a normal city. Buyers and investors. Expect multiple offers because chances are you're gonna have to write on a few properties in order to buy something, so don't get emotional. Now, there hasn't been a more important time to be choosing the right realtor. This is not a self-plug, but I'm going to share with you what goes on behind the scenes when realtors negotiate. When submitting an offer, the vast majority of realtors out there never call the listing agent and ask questions about the seller's situation. They're just submitting an offer completely blind and praying your one offer will stand out from the other 20 offers. I don't know if they're just scared to call or don't have the balls to ask difficult questions, or maybe they're worried about their image and just want to be nice. Either way, that type of realtor is not going to serve you, especially in this market. But how do you know if your realtor is the realtor to ask difficult questions? Well, I would see if they're a shark. Do they have courage? Or my favorite, are they the type to just not give a shit? And more importantly, ask if they have a plan, a strategy on how to navigate multiple offers. By the way, Jazz did a great video on how to navigate multiple offers, so if you want to see that video, check it out here. We actually have quite a bit of tips for buyers to position themselves to win, and I'm gonna share a few at the end of the video, but we might make a separate video for that, so if that's something you wanna see, let us know in the comments below. By the way, if you are competing and you do win, you can expect to pay more than list price on a single detached home. And we've seen properties go for over $100,000. Sellers, they have a great rate now. You can shoot for the stars and get a great price. Now, even though selling your home could be quick, there are strategies and tactics to maximize your sale price and get more visibility to your listing. And that's really how you position your home on the market and the pre-marketing that goes into your listing prior to going live. Again, never be afraid to ask what your realtor's strategy is. So what's behind the madness? Okay, a few things. Number one, I think one of the biggest factors is out of province buyers buying here. Being YouTube realtors, we get multiple calls a day from people in Ontario and BC looking to move here for many reasons, like affordability and less traffic. Investors can't cash flow in Vancouver or Toronto, and they're being priced out of the market, let alone having to deal with offers $300,000 to $500,000 above list price. With investors also come speculators, and I don't blame them. This brings me to my second point. Number two, Calgary is fundamentally set up for big growth. Our office vacancy rate is nearly 30% and it's attracting many companies to set up their headquarters here, including Amazon, who will be spending $4 billion. Number three, our infrastructure allows you to get from one end of the city to the other within 30 minutes. Time is a finite resource that we will never get back, and people appreciate that. Number 4, FOMO. It's a real thing, especially with those who have a pre-approval that will be expiring and their new rate will be 10, 20, 30 points higher. Number 5, low inventory and net migration. In the first 9 months of 2021, we saw a net migration of 23,000 to our province, and it's only going to get higher as time goes on when we get past this pandemic. So for all of these reasons, our team is very bullish on the Calgary real estate market. We don't know when it's going to happen. It could be 3 years, 6 years, or 10 years from now, but we will see prices jump, and it's already starting to happen. The question now is, when is the tipping point? Is it now? With Calgary being put on the map and the rise of prices for black gold oil, which by the way makes up about 25% of Alberta's GDP, are we going through a tipping point for Calgary real estate? We don't know. I guess we'll find out. Okay, I'm gonna get into the statistics for the Calgary real estate market for the month of January 2022. Then I'm gonna talk about interest rates, where they're going, and how that's going to impact the real estate market, and finish off with some tips on how you can come out on top in this crazy market. Sales. As you can see by this graph, total sales in January 2022 are 66.5% higher year over year. And for row housing, we had 305 sales, which is double the levels traditionally seen at this time of the year. Apartments had 357 sales, which is the highest that they've been since January 2007. And the improvement in sales were supported by a number of new listings that came onto the market. Inventory has been decreasing since early 2020. We had 2,476 new listings in Calgary for January 2022, and that's just over double compared to last month's. Yet inventory levels are the lowest compared to the last 14 years. For detached, we had negative 47%, semi-detached negative 30, row and townhouses negative 39, and apartments negative 19. The average price of a home in January 2022 was $510,701, which is an 8% increase year over year. For detached, we had plus 14%, row and townhouses plus 9%, semi-detached plus 12%, and apartments plus 2%. Summary and market advice. Let's talk about interest rates. It was actually quite surprising that the Bank of Canada did not raise rates in January, but I would definitely expect them to do it at the next meeting on March 2nd. Now, everyone talks about how interest rates will slow down the market, and yes, I do agree to a certain extent. When the Bank of Canada announces rate changes, it only affects people with variable rate mortgages, HELOCs, and any loans based on prime rate. It does not affect anyone with a fixed rate mortgage. By the way, if you want to know what type of mortgage is best for you, fixed or variable rate mortgages, make sure you check out my video here. Okay, here are my thoughts. If rates were to go up 25 points or even 50 points, it may not affect the entire market. But if we get to 75 points or 1%, I think that's when we will start seeing downward pressure on demand. Could the Bank of Canada increase it 0.5% in March to curb inflation? We're gonna have to wait and see. Tips for buyers. Number 1, financing. Financing is the first and most important step of the home buying process. You must make sure you are pre-approved, meaning you filled out an application, you sent in your income documents like your pay stub, job letter, and your tax returns if you're self-employed or a contract worker, and you have to get something in writing from the lender with your pre-approved rate. Number 2, don't be picky. Now is not the time to nitpick small issues at the home inspection. I mean, you're buying a resale home, and just like anything else, it's gonna have wear and tear. Keep the bigger picture in mind and what is more important to you, buying a home or spending a little time and money on something you can fix. What does the short-term to medium-term picture look like for Calgary real estate? Well, it could be bleak for buyers. Even if we have rising rates and the overall market slows down, we still have Ontario and BC buyers with fists full of cash looking to throw their money in the Calgary real estate market. Tips for investors. Number 1, cash flow isn't the game, acquisition is. If you've been following our channel, you've heard me say this before. The difference between cash flow and appreciation is that cash flow is guaranteed because you know exactly how much you're gonna get at the end of every month. Whereas appreciation is not guaranteed because you don't know when you're going to sell and you don't know what the market is gonna be doing at that time. I was always a cash flow first kind of guy, but given the current market conditions, it's better to pivot to acquisition. Now, you may be negative cash flow for the first part of the ownership, but you're gonna make up for it over time. I'm not sure if we will see these low prices again, so we are encouraging our investors to look past the cash flow and instead of using cash to renovate, buy a second property instead. With an expected 10 to 15% increase in values this year, your dollars will go further with a second acquisition. I mean, who doesn't want two assets to appreciate over time, not just one? Tips for sellers. Buyers are getting cold feet after shooting for the stars to get a home under contract and are walking away without giving a deposit. And as a seller, you have no recourse if that happens. I recommend getting a small deposit the very next day the offer is accepted, and the remaining deposit to be provided within days of the initial deposit. This way, it gets their skin in the game. The tips we provided today are only scratching the surface. If you want full access to our playbook, you would have to be a client. Now, we get a lot of people calling us and saying, oh, if you come across, this type of property for this price, please let us know. To be honest, we don't do that because with the number of people reaching out to us, we would have no time to give the high level of service that our clients deserve. Plus, we would just go completely crazy. So if you want to work with us, then when you reach out to us, please let us know of two things. Number one, when were you last pre-approved? And number two, when do you want to take possession of your new home? If you reach out to us, we will reply to your inquiry with those two questions. So including them in your initial inquiry will save some time. If you guys have enjoyed these tips, we would love your support if you hit the like button. We are so close to 5,000 subscribers and we're hoping you can help us smash that milestone. We do put a lot of time and effort into these videos to help you guys out, so we would appreciate it if you threw some love our way. And guys, feel free to subscribe if you enjoy our good content about real estate and mortgages. My name is Felix Shan, Calgary Realtor and Mortgage Broker with the Live Inner City Real Estate team. And if you want to watch more videos on the Calgary real estate market, then make sure you check them out at the end screens. And I'll see you in a few seconds.